was online a couple years ago, like at around 1 a.m., looking up SpongeBob episodes. So after going through bad quality videos on horror websites and other sites were flooded with ads, I came upon an unofficial website that had full episodes ad-free. Okay, so the quality wasn't great, but better than most of any other websites. On the bottom was a link that said SpongeBob Lost Episode. Of course, being the idiot that I was, I clicked on it. I thought it was probably going to be a screamer or something, but I clicked on it anyways. I was bored, so I had enough time to click on the video and watch it. I totally forgot about looking at the old episodes. The episode had poor quality, and the episode itself was pretty much forgotten by the writers. Like every episode, it started with the theme song. The title card read, Patrick's Leg, and the normal fun-filled bubble letters that we all know and love. The first thing that didn't seem right was that after the title card, the transition, instead of bubbles, it was a blur into the beginning of the episode. It kind of started out like a typical harmless SpongeBob episode, with SpongeBob and Patrick watching the sunset. But then, Patrick decides he wants to go snowboarding. So they do. So far, pretty much of a normal episode. Then Patrick decides to do some sort of dumb trick on his sandboard, but as a result, Patrick falls and breaks his leg. SpongeBob goes after him to see if he's okay. During this scene, instead of the usual Hawaiian theme music, more suspenseful, serious music plays. Also, Patrick screams a more painful scream than he usually would, enough to make me feel it. Well, I guess that makes sense. I mean, he just broke his freaking leg. Nothing is too far out of the ordinary, right? Well, from the opening and the music in that one scene, it was pretty much going like a normal, ordinary episode. The next scene takes us to the hospital, where the doctor tells Patrick he needs to be in a wheelchair for a little while. As they walk out, SpongeBob is pushing Patrick in his wheelchair, and when they run into some girls. The girls started talking to Patrick because of his leg, and asked if they could sign his cast as they walk away with Patrick, leaving SpongeBob by himself. So far, this was looking like a normal episode, but I don't remember what happened throughout the episode, so I'll just skip some scenes. This is where it got creepy. Later that night, SpongeBob knocks at Patrick's door. In this scene, the background looks more realistic than usual. However, I tried to ignore it. When Patrick opens the door, SpongeBob tells Patrick that he forbids him to see those girls ever again. Patrick gets furious, not like he normally does. But this was a little bit more realistic anger, and he tells SpongeBob that he hates him. The girls leave in fear, and this is when I started to feel funny about this episode. SpongeBob then screams, and in an unusually deep voice, he says something like,
"Oh yeah? Well, as long as you hate me, I can do this."
And he starts beating Patrick's broken leg violently with a rock. After that, the screen goes static for a fraction of a second, and cuts to a scene where SpongeBob and Patrick are apologizing for something during the daytime. Except the lining of the animation and the voices don't match up. The animation in this scene is very poor, as if it was a loop, and it went on for a good 4 or 5 minutes. I was very creeped out, and I wanted to see how it ended. The screen goes black for a minute or two, and it cuts to a scene from another episode where Patrick has Jeffrey Jellyfish in a wagon says, "Come on, Jeffrey," and the screen goes black. Again. This time for only 30 seconds. It cuts to a CG animation of, oh my god, it's Patrick cutting SpongeBob's stomach open with a piece of broken coral, with realistic blood gushing out, looking at the screen with bloodshot, dilated eyes. His mouth doesn't move, but you can faintly hear him say,
"I knew this day would come,"
with an echoey voice. You can also hear SpongeBob laughing for some odd reason. The scene goes on for another 3 minutes, but nothing is heard but the static, which gets louder and louder until it's unbearably loud. Then the normal credits come on, but with a very faint image of the last scene still showing. My god. This image will be burned in my mind forever. The United Plankton logo isn't shown like usual. And that, everybody, was SpongeBob's SquarePants Patrick's leg. A SpongeBob Lost episode creepypasta. Okay. I'm finally gonna get into my thoughts of this story. Actually not that bad. I mean, I get it, the ending and the whole thing about the narrator going up at 2:30 a.m. on the computer. That sounds very cliche. But compared to like other different stories, this handled it pretty well, if I'm to be quite frankly honest. However, there is like one gripe I do have. The story should have ended without the thing about the United Plankton's logo, because that would have kept it like very spooky. Like, oh no, the United Plankton logo ain't there. Like, that's just not really, that really did not end it very well. But that's the only problem I really do have with this. I think that since this is like a classic, and that's another reason why I'm holding it very lightly, is that this story is in fact considered a classic creepypasta, Lost episode creepypasta. And it actually does seem like a normal episode. I mean, except about the part about SpongeBob being ripped over by Patrick and eating his intestine. Yeah, none of that. I don't think that. I definitely don't think that that's real. But, whatever. But, yeah. This story is pretty good. From a scale from 1 to 10, I would score this probably a 9. Because of how, not only like how disturbing it can be, because I've seen people do recreations of this episode, and it is like creepy. Because that's one thing, like, it out in writing usually wouldn't really do it that good. But with this, in writing, it's pretty creepy. Even, like, when it's executed, it's very creepy. So, that's my final rating. 9 out of 10. Hopefully you all liked this video. I'm sorry that I kept on stuttering and all this other different crap, because I do not have my glasses on me right now. So I can barely even read, because my one eye wants to go one way and the other. But hopefully you all liked this video. Comment, like, subscribe, if you want to, of course. And hopefully I'll be able to see you guys later. I probably might do another video tonight, so I don't know. But I hope to see you guys later. Bye.